Hi guys and welcome to another Hero of the Week. This week's hero, and I never thought I'd actually say this, is Piers Morgan. So he appeared opposite Farage on Question Time. Now Morgan was pretty terrible on some of the issues, for example private schools, but he called out Farage on Brexit, which was wonderful to hear. The broadcaster asked about another referendum on Brexit due to the lies being told in order to get the first one across the line. Farage tried to push back with his tired old rhetoric. Have a listen to this.
Why don't we have another referendum about Brexit? Because I seem to remember when 2016 came around that we were told that there was going to be control of our borders and it was going to be economically beneficial to this country. And 8 years later, we have lost complete control of our borders, both legal and illegal immigration. And economically, it seems to have been a willful act of self-harm. And one of the main architects of Brexit is sitting here, who could have run to stand as a member of parliament in this election, but has chosen not to because he wants to go and help Donald Trump be elected in America. But I would like to ask Nigel Farage, what objection would you have, given that all the polls now say the majority of this country would actually vote the other way if there was another referendum? What objection would you have to just testing that theory and allowing the British people to decide whether they were sold a complete pack of nonsense?
What would be lovely, to get back to the question, why did people vote for Brexit? Well, there were lots of reasons. Getting back control of our lives was the main one, our democracy, governing ourselves, of which, sir, borders were the single most important part. You know, we'd gone from the late 1940s until 1997 with net migration of 30 to 40,000 a year over the course of 50 years. Labour opened the door in the most incredible way, and a net 2.7 million people came in during the Labour government. Under the Conservatives, that has just accelerated and continued. What about Brexit, Piers, was it gives us total control over who can come and live in our country.
We have no control.
Yes, we have.
That's the whole point.
No, we do have total control.
But it's always somebody else's fault. See, this is Farage's rhetoric. We have control, but the problem is the Conservatives are not controlling the borders. Now, notice that when Farage said, well, you know, immigration increased in 1997 when Labour took over, New Labour took over in 1997, and they opened the door and net migration increased. What also increased? The economy improved. There was a boom. So we could link that to migration. So migration is a positive thing. Now, for people like Nigel Farage and Brexiteers, no, it's a negative thing. We need to bring it down. We saw what happens when you try to bring down immigration, when you end freedom of movement. It damages the economy. Businesses can't access the workers they need. Now, what Farage is trying to do, of course, he didn't answer the question about having a second referendum, but what he's trying to do is say, look, we left the European Union to bring down immigration, and we can't bring it down because the Conservatives are not implementing Brexit correctly. I sold the public a different type of Brexit. If I was in charge, it would have been a wonderful Brexit, knowing that he would never be in charge. This is my biggest problem with Farage. He sold people a lie, knowing that he would never actually have to own up for it. He would never have to apologize because he would always offload the responsibility onto somebody else, be it the Conservative Party, and then when Labour take over, he'll say, well, Labour isn't implementing Brexit correctly. It's Labour's fault, not my fault. I sold people sunlit uplands. I sold people low immigration. I sold people growth. I sold people all sorts of things. But it's not my fault that it's not been implemented correctly. Now, back to the point of a second referendum, Piers Morgan is correct. But I've always warned, if there's going to be a second referendum, it needs to be done correctly. The public need to be informed. Politicians need to take a back seat. An independent commission needs to be set up. People need to be provided with independent, transparent information about rejoining, the cost, the cost, the benefits, what would be required. Because otherwise you're going to get into a situation where the politicians will fill the vacuum, and they'll fill it with lies. And Farage will be back once again warning people, if we rejoin the European Union, immigration is going to go up. If we rejoin the European Union, we're going to lose all our control and all of this. And people will buy into it once again. Why the heck is Nigel Farage on Question Time? Well, it seems that somebody at the BBC messed up, they issued an apology to him, and it seems they sent out an invitation. Nigel Farage has no right to be on Question Time. He's not an elected MP. He's not even officially the leader of Reform UK. Why was a member of the Green Party not on the panel? Somebody from the SNP, even an independent MP or somebody who's running as an independent. They have more right to be on this panel than Nigel Farage. But unfortunately, the BBC continues to amplify him and allow him to get away with absolute rubbish. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.